Today we're talking about how to get millions of views on social media with just plain old written posts. I know you can do it because last month I got 1,066,720 views from organic posts, not from ads, and they were all written, but it's even weirder than you think because I didn't write them. My daughter wrote them. She's 23, and what's even crazier is she's really not a marketer. I didn't teach her how to do marketing, and she did it all with AI, and her posts outperformed mine. Which on one hand, I'm super proud of, and on the other hand, I'm kind of embarrassed because I've been selling things online since 1999. If we've never met, my name is Frank Kern. I sold over $50 million worth of my own stuff on the internet, and my 23-year-old daughter took AI and basically just outsold me using my own social media account. So if you don't think AI can write good stuff, then this video is really gonna be a major eye-opener because we're gonna analyze exactly what she did, and we're gonna take the frameworks from all of her posts, and I'm gonna show you how to use AI to write the same type of content for social media so you can get a ton of views too. So if you're like most people, you've probably tried AI before and it sucked. I know, you're not alone. So what Nora did, that's my daughter, is she went and she took some of my stuff and she gave it to AI and she was like, write me some social media content that sounds like this dude. And it worked. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna find some of the winners, such as this one. This was the winner over the past 30 days with a reach of 58,000 people. Here's the second best one, all written by her. Crazy, super good. Here's another one written by her. These posts are basically the same ones, by the way. Pretty sweet. And we're gonna dissect what made it work, and I'm gonna show you how to use AI to do it. So here's a recreation of the winning post here, and we're going to use this framework. I totally made up the name. It's called the Historic Hook Story Framework. It sounds cool if you make up the name. So notice, this is not me. This is a picture of a different dude, and this is a historical figure in advertising and marketing. So it's not about the image, incidentally, and we know this to be true because if we look at the other posts that won, here's one that doesn't even have a person in it. And if we go back even further, we can see the number one post over the past 90 days was just a picture of a newspaper article. So you don't have to have pictures of people in there. Anyway, okay, here is the big winner over the last 30 days. And this is a dude named Bud. Now, your image should be interesting, but my point is it doesn't have to be the usual social media stuff. I'm pretty sure nobody scrolling my social media feed knew who this dude was. Now, your first step here, and this is, again, we're using historical stuff, just facts, so you don't have to make up content or anything, is we want to lead with some kind of hook that's going to cause curiosity. In this case, the hook is, this dude is a badass. And in the second sentence, it says he proved that storytelling is more powerful than other stuff. So that grabs you. Now, again, that's not hypey, that's not crazy, nor is it embellished. It's totally true. But you need a solid hook, but you don't have to get all viral and crazy. So the next part of this framework is we want to give the history and tell the story right here. All right, so we've got the hook. All right, hey, there was this dude, he was a badass. Now we want to sort of back that up and explain it. So now we have the history. So I'll just kind of abbreviate that there. And it's not a ton. It's just hey, this dude started out writing beer stuff, which he did. And then he built this company called Green Tree Press, which he did. He was awesome. And he's super famous in the tiny little microscopic world of, mail order print media advertising. And he just made $1 gazillion with these newspaper ads. So that's the story. Again, 1, 2, 3. 3 entire sentences there. That's it, nothing hard. And the next phase of the framework is we have the actual content. All right, so this is where people miss the boat on content marketing is there's no content, there's nothing useful. They don't actually teach anything, because they want to make it about themselves or whatever. Notice this has nothing to do with anybody except the reader and teaching the reader how to sell stuff through social media, in this case, through the use of stories by modeling this dude right here. All right, so it's a really big, important part of your content is the actual content. So in this part, she taught Bud's framework. So all of his ads, if you go through them, they follow this 6-part framework. So in it, she taught it. Now, the next part of this framework is you've got a recap here, which you could do or not, but the most important thing is you want to tell people why it works. You don't want to say like, hey, go do this. You want to make it very relevant to them. Like, hey, this is why this still works right now. Otherwise, it could just be a boring history lesson. So we tell them why. So this is important. Why? All right. And then we tell them how they can actually use it. And this is basically a benefit here. So if we look at it from start to finish, we got a picture of a dude. It could be a picture of an ad. It could be whatever. We have like something that grabs their attention right here. We have a little bit of a reason why we're saying the thing we did. We have the brief history. So attention, history, actual content. Okay, very important, actual content, a recap of the content. And then right here is going to be the benefit. Why this is useful and relevant to you. And again, like it's just, why this works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's 5. Math is not exact science. Anyway, 5 little bullet points of why it works and some ways you could use this framework. That's it. Now we put a little call to action at the end of ours. You don't have to. It doesn't matter. What this type of stuff does is it establishes you as someone who knows what they're talking about and establishes you as a credible and helpful authority without you having to actually talk about yourself or do any bragging. And if you don't have credentials or testimonials or whatever, this is a great way to go out there and establish authority and actually help people, which is kind of the name of the game. So how can you create posts like this that get like 1 million people checking it out, free, organic? Notice organic here. This is not paid. This is all like free people checking out my stuff, which led to customers. Well, it's pretty simple. So rather than like going and trying to make stuff up, we can go to ojoy.ai, shameless plug, happens to be our family's business. And we have a little tool there called Fact Finder. And you can use it to find like interesting stuff to post about. That's all we did. We just found cool stuff that's related to marketing and we made posts about it. So you can go over here and you can say, I need to find really interesting stories about ad campaigns that worked exceptionally well. And the more obscure and unusual, the better. And when you find them, I need stuff like specifics and statistics and everything. So make sure that the sources are credible, please. So I don't have to type that. Okay, so we'll just pop that in there. And now it's going to go search for this kind of stuff. And we might get lucky. It might find something amazing the first time. We might have to refine it. That's okay. The important thing is this is going to give us the exact web pages that the cool stuff comes from. And we're going to use those web pages to write the posts without you having to really do anything. Dude, these are so cool. So the Will It Blend campaign, $50 turned to a $56 million business. And then there's this one about postcards. I'm going to ask it to please give me the specific websites for the Blend Tech stuff and for the Postcard Mania stuff. Okay, so it gave me the specific web pages. I've been like dorking out on this stuff. I totally zoned out. But dude, this is amazing because there's all these crazy case studies. Like this one, Sea Cremation, generated $220,000 for a funeral parlor. We got to use that one because that's just too weird. So look, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to grab this, I'm going to hit copy, okay? And now, instead of reading all of this stuff, we're just going to get AI to read it and write some cool stuff for us. So I'm back at ojoy.ai. I'm in a tool called Project Shepherd, which is like the one that writes a lot of cool stuff. And I just pasted everything from that funeral parlor case study website there. I think I did. Yeah, I did. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, read this entire article about how this funeral parlor or whatever sent a bunch of postcards out and made a bunch of money and summarize it for me real quick. That, again, beautifully professional prompt. Thank you very much. But I don't want to read this. And more importantly, I don't want to miss anything. So I'm going to let AI find all of the cool stuff. And then we're just going to have it write a little post for us. And I'm going to actually use this post today because this is going to be good. So check it out. Here's the short version of this thing, okay? These folks in Tampa, naturally, Florida, but crazy shit happens in Florida. We all know this. They spent 12 grand, all right? Where does it say down here? They sent 50,000 postcards. Oh, dude, and they only did 5 to 10,000 per month, okay? That's fine. And they offered what are you going to get a free lunch, dude, for like learning about cremation? Okay, whatever. Knock yourselves out. I guess free lunch. But check it out. This is where it gets wild. They had 100 people come in for a free lunch. Now, remember, they didn't send all 50,000 of them at once, and that is a super weird offer. But every single person that came in became a customer. They made a 1,600% return on investment, which is freaking great. And that equals, what was it? Oh, dude, it's right in front of me. Oh my God, they didn't even send out all of them. They only sent half of them. They made 22,000 bucks. So this is a beautiful thing for a social media post. So here's how I'm going to tell it. Okay, cool. I want to create a social media post that basically tells a story like this. Man, there was this funeral home company that sent out some postcards. They didn't even send them all out, and they made $220,000 in revenue. They only got 100 responses, but all 100 of those people converted. Just goes to show what can be done with short copy. And here's how they could have potentially done the exact same thing on Facebook. They could have taken a picture of the postcard and then just run it as a reach ad to everybody in the neighborhoods that they were sending the postcards to, or something like that. I just wanted to be interesting and cool. Okay, go for it. Oh, it's important to like really mention that they made 1,655% return on investment too. I think that'll be cool. Thank God. Again, like we built Ojoy so you don't have to do prompts well, and it'll just like turn my idiotic rambling into something. This trick when you're writing stuff with AI is to do a rough draft first and then try to make it sound cool. All right. Like don't try to make it sound cool as you're doing it. We want to look at the draft and then we want it to sound cool. All right. So this is actually pretty solid. I don't think I'm going to mess with it at all other than actually let's do kind of make it a little bit cooler. Talk about how totally weird that is. So I need like an opening sentence that really grabs the reader's attention. Like these people made $220,000 from postcards and you won't believe what they sold, or something like that. Then tell the story and teach how they could have done it on social media too. All right. I just think that'll be a better post. I mean, I'm going to actually post this right now when I'm done making this video for you. But dude, like we're not, it's really not that hard. It's taken me longer just to explain how to do it than to actually do it. So here we go. That's freaking a solid post. And you know what we can do for the image of the post, which I'm going to do, is I'm going to take this right here. Where we go? And I'm going to blur this. I'm going to take a screenshot and I'm going to blur it. So the people on social are like, what the hell is this thing? And I'm just going to put that caption under it. And we're going to slap it up there. And this is how you get a whole bunch of views on social media in your market without talking about yourself and without trying to look cool. And, with using AI. So AI can write good stuff and it can be interesting and it can be authentic and it can be true. And if you want to try ojoy.ai and do what I just did, maybe even do a better job because you're not on camera and you're not trying to hurry, go to ojoy.ai and take the trial. Have yourself some fun. And, yeah, I guess that's all I got. Really don't quite know a cool way to end the videos. I always kind of forget how to end the video cool. Double guns. I've done that one before. The double guns, boom. That worked. What are you going to do? Like, again, I double gunned it. You can't come back from a double gun. You can't outcool that. You know why you're still watching. I just double gunned you. Take the trial. See you later.